So I'm going to describe this in a later video, but I'm going to take clips from this. Do you guys know about right to repair?
I don't know much about it.
So Jose, let me go to you then. And Jesus, you can comment. So Apple has got a major problem and with right to repair. What is your thought on it? I mean, because I kind of think it's controversial and something's got to change.
I think my biggest issue with Apple being against it is I pay $1,000 for a phone, right? So I I pay $1,000, take it, go to the Apple store, give him $1,000. I take the phone home with me. That should be my phone now. So I should be able to repair that phone if it breaks. I should not have to go to a certain store and pay whatever price they tell me I have to pay for that, you know. So I feel like it would be better if you could go to any store that does, technology repair and repair it. You don't have to go specifically to one company so they could repair the phone for you and they tell you, oh, this is what we charge for this. You can't shop around for something cheaper. I think that's my biggest issue with that.
Yeah,
Because
I agree with
if I'm
you.
paying you, if I'm paying
Yeah, go
you,
ahead.
that much money, that should be my device, and I should have, a say in what I want to do with that phone.
Right, because even if you're not paying, you pay $1,000 at once?
No, I'm saying,
Oh,
in general, that's what a phone costs, nowadays.
I was gonna
Eight
say
hundred,
you're over here wanting
eight
cheap ass headphones. I was like, wow,
eight
Jose,
hundred
where do you get
dollars,
$1,000?
$800 for a phone. Eight hundred
Right.
dollars. That's the price of a phone. So that's what I'm saying. They're close to $1,000 each phone now.
Yeah. I mean, this 12 Pro was. You're
Now,
right,
even if you
right?
pay it in
So,
payments, you're still
right,
paying $1,000.
right. You're still paying. It's yours. And that's the argument, right? Is if you go get a car, if I go get a Toyota Camry and my Camry's brakes are not working, I can go to any mechanic. I don't have to go to Toyota. I might just because they have the parts I need. And it's tricky because with mechanics, they can screw your ass over. Oh, yeah, I fixed it. And you have to go back. That's how they make their money. They make you go back, keep paying
Well,
$200,
the
$300.
difference is
But
with the car, you could buy the brakes and repair them yourself. You could
exactly,
learn how
that's what
to
I was
do
getting
that.
to.
Hmm.
Yeah. I can buy the brake. I can buy the rear view mirror. I can go buy a battery. I can go buy a doorknob. I can go buy a new window, a new glass. I can go fix the windshield. I could replace my wipers. But when it comes to an iPhone, when it comes to an iPad, you can't do that because Apple argues, well, not everybody's going to have the parts that we need them to. Well, I argue the same thing you do. Well, I want to fix my goddamn phone. I want to walk into Best Buy. I want to walk into, I don't know, Clearview Technologies or whatever the hell the shop is called and say, here, can you fix my iPhone? And back then they used to go, sure. But then what Apple started doing was, first off, they did it with the home button. They started making it to where if you power on your phone, then your home button works. So they made it impossible for people to replace your home button. Then they started gluing in the battery, so if they took it apart, it would break, and now you need a new phone. And Apple's trying to control what you do. And then they say, well, you can go get Apple certified. But being an Apple, I don't know if you heard Lewis, I forget who it was, but he was explaining how it's really bad being an Apple certified person because you have to pay them a fee every year. You have to agree to unagreed to inspections. And then after you're done, and let's say you say, hey, I want to drop out of the program, they can still come and inspect you. They can still, it's like if you work at a job and you go get a drug test and, right, they drug test you every 6 months. You're at the job just to make sure you're good. And then you leave that job and you move to another state or whatever, you go to another job and that other previous job comes to you and says, well, we need to drug test you again. I don't work for you. I don't give a damn. We're going to drug test you. I argue, let other repair shops buy the certified parts without being Apple certified so that more people can get their phones fixed at a lower price. But that's what Apple doesn't want. They want you to charge those prices when you're Apple certified that are just below what Apple would charge you at their store, but just high enough to where Apple makes a profit. And I think it's gross. I think it's disgusting. Jesus?
Well, I also wanted to say something because
Yeah, go ahead.
Jesus, you might be able to chip in, but I know that Apple doesn't make all their own, parts to the phone.
Well, no,
They
the chip especially. They're
they
made by
get their
Qualcomm.
where do they get their screens from, Jesus? You know, right?
They get it from
They
Samsung.
get it from Samsung. So, it's not like they're the ones making all the parts. So if I could go, if Samsung became, let's say, a distributor to all these electronic places and get, a Samsung screen for my phone, I should be able to, just put it in. It doesn't have to come from Apple because they're not the ones making, those pieces.
Well, but they're in the design process. They're making, because there's a difference between a Samsung screen and an Apple screen,
Samsung
right?
and Apple screen. Well, Samsung does limit the screens for Apple devices because, of course, they're competitors. Why is Samsung's gonna make the top and greatest for Apple?
But that's what I'm saying. Apple's not making them themselves. They're getting other companies to do it for them, and then they're assembling them.
And the thing is, the argument that Apple makes all the time. Well, we need Apple certification because we want to make sure that they fix the phones to our standards. I'm like, all right, bro. This is my phone. I bought this phone. If I fix this phone and it messes up on me, that was my fault because I did not research the shop I went to. It's my fault. If the phone blows up, it's no longer Apple's fault. It's just my fault because I took it as a consumer to this shop that was kind of sketchy, in the middle of South Central or something, It's just,
Or
it's
Crenshaw.
Crenshaw, it's just.
And the thing is, too, they only give you a 1-year limited warranty. After that year, you're basically screwed. You have to,
You have to buy Apple
go on
Care.
charge it.
Yeah, and that's the manufacturer's warranty, and they're not the only ones who do that. It's not just Apple doing that. It's Samsung does it too. Google does it. Microsoft does it. When you go buy a Surface, you go buy a little drone from Microsoft, they'll tell you buy a warranty because the manufacturer's warranty is going to expire after a year. That's industry standard. But you're right? Now, what we should be able to do now, you can go to AT&T and buy the parts because what Apple does is it gives AT&T parts to or T-Mobile or Verizon or whatever to fix your phone, right? That's a lot of people do that. They'll go to their phone carrier and say, "Can you fix it?" Why is it? But what the phone companies do is they put third-party parts into your phone. That's not good for the phone at all or for its security. But aside from that, why are the phone carriers allowed to do that shit? But a regular mom and pop tech shop can't do that. You guys get what I mean?
Exactly.
AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, it used to be Sprint, now it's T-Mobile / Sprint. They can do that. They can put third-party parts on your phone. It's still iPhone parts. Yes, it is, right? Because you can't just put a Samsung screen made for a Samsung phone on an iPhone. That'd be stupid. But
I'm saying what I was saying is
exactly.
they make them so they have access to the iPhone screens.
Right. Why not let Apple? Because you can go to Best Buy and go get your phone fixed. So why are these big time, Best Buy, T-Mobile / Sprint, AT&T, Verizon, why are they allowed to put third-party parts on your phone that, yes, belong for the iPhone, but are not as strong as what Apple and Samsung make together? Why are they allowed to do it?
They have the money to pay that certification, and your average mom and pop shop doesn't have the money to pay the certification or doesn't have maybe the standards that Apple needs and stuff like that. It could be a great shop, but also Apple could require high standards for their stuff. You know what I mean?
It's impossible. It doesn't. I don't mind the high standards.
That's the problem, though. That's the problem is that these people can't, get Apple certified.
Exactly.
But you don't want to be Apple certified.
You don't. That's what I'm saying. You should be free to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it shouldn't be Apple certified. But again, it's all about the business. Apple has to make their money, and of course, like Jason said, any other business does it. As much as we would want it for them not to do it, but again, it's just the business. It's not really about the consumer. It's about how much money can they make at the end of the day.
Sure. But it's also, they're harassing other companies too, because like I said, they're doing unagreed to inspections If I was an Apple certified inspector, I could walk into Best Buy at any time, pull a worker aside and say, all right, let me see your parts. That's stupid shit. That's completely stupid, right? Here's what I think should happen, okay? Every single tech shop in this goddamn world should be able to purchase every screen, lock button, home button, whatever, camera part, wire, cable, whatever's in their battery, and they should be able to replace them, right? And hey, Apple wants to charge each business $250 for a camera part? Be my guest, right? But at least the shop is able to sell it. At least you can walk into a mom and pop shop, or even not a mom and pop shop, someone that has a lot of local branches, so they're not that small, and you might be able to go in and say, I need to fix my iPhone 12. All right, let me see it, right? But they're also, like Jose said in the video he sent us, I wish I could play it. I didn't prepare the screen, so I'm sorry about that. It's a 16-minute long video. Essentially, the guy was trying to repair the cameras and take each part and put it into a new phone, the two iPhone 12s. Here was his problem. Apple serialized it, so it belongs to that phone. That's more control over you, and that's called a monopoly. Someone has got to look. I love Apple, and I think they make the best products. Yeah, you know what? Sorta, but because of their limits. But I think someone needs to end this because we do have the right to repair our own shit.